Good morning, everybody. Let's start with those toe lifts. So if you use the watch, I like to do traditional strength training on Thursdays usually. Good, 8, 7, 4, 3, heels up, right then left, right and left. So we're starting to wake up those ankles, a little bit of a stretch on the bottom of the foot. 4, 3, right leg only, we're gonna do heel and toe. So heel and toe. A little bit smaller than the swing, but I still want you to think, pull the toe up, point the toe in the back. 2, let's switch it to the other side. So heel and toe, heel and toe. So pull the toe up, then point the toe in the back. 4, 3, 2. All right, switching legs. We're gonna do our hip circles. Heel down, toe up, nice and tall. That hip is right next to us. Change direction. 4, 3, switch it over to the other side. Heel down, toe up. We're gonna kind of stiffen up that quad, stiffen up that knee. Change direction. 4, 3, feet hip width apart, slow deadlift, hinge it forwards, stand up nice and tall. So we're gonna start narrow, but we're actually going to be doing sumo deadlifts today. Good, one more. Let's step the legs out a little bit wider, sumo deadlift right here. So you can kind of feel a little bit of a difference in how your body feels with these. Good, now we're gonna go a little faster, down and up, down and up. So it's the same move, your legs are just a little bit wider. It's 4, 3, 2, hold it in the bottom position. Let's open and close our books. Think about opening that shoulder back behind you. Hips are nice and steady. Good, 4, 3, 2, bring it all the way up, slow squat. We're gonna start with our wide squats here. Down, 2, up, 2. One more. Now we're gonna step it in, hip width apart, slow squat, going back to our normal squat position. Down and lift. So knees are tracking between your big toe and your pinky toe. Good, we're gonna speed it up. So down and lift. We do get a little bit more knee here, but we wanna think about nice, good, safe positions for those knees. 2, good, bring it all the way up. Arms up, reach it up, pull it down. So imagine backs of your hands are touching that wall. Good, so reach, pull it down. Really think about that pull. 2, forward step and reach right here. Forward, pull it back. Squeeze the shoulders. 4, 3, 2. We're gonna step it out, side lunge. We know our routine here. Little side to side. So chest is up, ribs are tucked. Just a little bit of movement, knees and hips. 4, 3, hold it in the center, cat-cow, inhale, exhale. So breathe in, open the chest, exhale, pull the belly in. Good, let's roll it all the way up, side step right here. Press it back. This is one of our exercises today, so if I turn, I'm really reaching back behind me. 4, 3, bring it in the center. So big breath in, pat on the back, exhale, reach. Big breath, pat on the back, exhale, reach. Lift, back, lift. We're gonna go a little bit faster, so up and back. Nice, good swings. Your speed might be different than mine. That's okay. 4, 3, 2, getting ready. Here's our plank walkout. So hinge it forwards. We're gonna walk it out. Hold a nice good plank. Walk yourself all the way back up to standing. So today we do have a couple of exercises. We have one circuit, a couple exercises that are down on the ground, and then we do have a core finisher where we just head down to the floor. We'll be on our backs, and we've got, I think, 6 exercises that we're gonna do. So no hands and knees today. And there's always modifications if you need to stay standing. Go, we're gonna do one more. Let's walk it all the way back up. Roll the shoulders up, back, and down into your back pocket. Grab a quick drink of water. All right, we have 4 circuits, 40 seconds work, 10 seconds rest, 2 exercises, and we're gonna do 3 rounds today. So our first exercise is gonna be that sumo deadlift. So shoulders down, we're gonna hinge it forwards and then stand tall. Second exercise is we're gonna have our palms up and we're gonna open just a little bit wider and do a wide curl. With the wide curl, just make sure that we're not popping our wrist back or curling it in towards our shoulder. We want to try to keep that wrist nice and neutral. So grab a dumbbell or 2. And remember, we're doing 3 rounds. So if you need to go light or body weight the first round and then add weights for rounds 2 and 3, that's perfectly fine. We got sumo deadlift, so wider stance in 3, 2, and 1. So we're nice and tall, and we're just going to do a nice good deadlift. So it's a nice good hinge, nice good lift. So if I turn, it's just like our other deadlifts. It's just my legs are wider. So nice good hinge, and then lift. So a little rotate from the pelvis. We're just gonna hinge it forwards, nice neutral spine. Keep those shoulders down and back. We don't wanna let our upper back round and our shoulders squeeze together in the middle. We're still trying to keep them down. It's that fine line between shoulders down but ribs tucked. Here's 2 and 1. All right, we're gonna go for wide curls. I'm gonna go light this round, or lighter, I should say. So I'm gonna do palms facing forwards, but then I'm gonna just kind of squeeze my shoulders, open my knuckles towards the corners, and we're gonna bring it up and take it down. So nice good lift, nice good lower. So my wrist is still nice and neutral, and all we're doing is opening our arms out to the corners a bit. So it's just a wider curl. We're getting a little rotator cuff here. Nice good squeeze. Okay, we've got 10 seconds. Here's 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good, dumbbells down, switching back for our sumo deadlifts. We want to think about picking up and setting down the dumbbells right between our feet. Here we go, shoulders down, ribs tucked. Hinge it forwards, standing tall. We should feel this in our hamstrings, like we're stretching. So a little hamstring. This is glute and hamstring work, and this is core. We should not feel like we're doing a crunch, and we shouldn't feel this in our low back. If we're feeling this in our low back especially, you might be arching or you might be rounding and just not realizing it. This is another one you don't have to get to the floor. It's okay. Just get that good stretch. A lot of people, it's right around your knees. Good. Dumbbells down. A lot of people, it's right around your knees, maybe your calves. With a wide stance, you can usually go a little bit farther, a little closer to the floor. Good. So time's on. So we just get a nice, good position. So it's just a little bit of an angle. You don't have to come all the way out to the side. Just angle it a little bit. It's wider than our normal neutral grip position. So it's like you're turning your hands to the corners. Your thumbs are kind of pointing to the corners that are behind you. If you start getting a little tired, you're welcome to alternate. I'm glad I went lighter. Good. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, we've got one more set. So So we're gonna grab those dumbbells, take those legs a little bit wider, toes forward or just a little bit out to the corner, shoulders down, time's on. Hinge it forwards and nice and tall. So really think about that rib tuck. It's not a full rounding of your back and your spine, but you're kind of tightening up that core, pulling the belly in a little bit, tucking the ribs under so they're stacked right over your hips. And that's really going to help you support your spine. So maybe you're only lifting 5 or 10 pounds today, but imagine what if you had to lift 20 or 30. You've got that braced feeling. Here's 2 and 1. All right, one more set of curls. So braced feeling, that's that heavy sneeze, right? 2 and 1. So that really, really good sneeze, that tight feeling you get in your tummy, that's what you're kind of hoping for. And I know some of you are going to say, well, I don't like to tighten up when I sneeze because, stuff happens. But that feeling is what you want to go for. So you want to get that little bit of a tight feeling. So you don't want to push out, you're just tightening up a little bit. Good, we've got 10 seconds. Here's 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, dumbbells down. Walk around, grab a drink, wiggle those fingers. Next round, we're gonna do a split squat. So a split squat is just a lunge without the forward and the back stepping. So a couple ways to do this. First, just take a nice big step, drop down and come up. If you're comfortable with it, a good place to start is down and then come up and then just go down and up. So it just depends what your legs are okay with. Second exercise, tricep kickbacks. We're gonna work those upper bodies. So we're gonna do right side, left side, and then round 3, we'll do stepping back squats. But we're gonna go for our split squats in 3, 2, and 1. So your first option is just a nice step back. It doesn't have to be huge, but we're going to drop it down and then we're gonna come up nice and tall. So drop, drop, lift, lift. Remember, your front leg is doing 90% of the work. We don't want to push our knee forwards and come back. So if your back leg is staying straight, I want you to bend your back knee like you want to get down on the floor. Down, 2, up, 2. We've got 10 seconds. Good, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it in. Gonna go for those tricep kickbacks. We're doing 3 sets, so I'm gonna go a little bit lighter. Whoop. Good, time is on. And don't do what I almost did. Don't drop your dumbbells on your feet. So just a nice good kickback right here. Now you can be a little more upright, but I want you to really take those elbows and try to point them back behind you. We just don't want to be up here. You shouldn't have pain and discomfort in your shoulder because you're doing triceps. Shoulders down and back. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Elbows pointing to the wall behind you, kind of in line with your torso and your hips. Good, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it in. Round 2, we're going to go for that split squat. Split squat. So start at the top or start at the bottom. I'm going to start at the bottom. Your time is on. We're here, and then you're going to push. And we drop it down, and then you push. So again, we don't want to go forwards and backwards or, shift our weight to the back and come up. Just back knee down, back knee up. Back knee down, back knee up. So your weight is in your front leg. There's weight in the back leg, but it's just there for moral support and to help keep you steady. At 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it in. We're gonna go for tricep kickbacks. Good, time is on. So shoulders down, finish position, kick it back, bring it in. I have my pinky, it's kind of hard to tell, but my pinky is actually touching the head of my dumbbell. So I'm not holding it in the middle. I'm actually letting the pinky of my hand touch the head of that dumbbell. So the dumbbell is resting on the side of my hand. It makes it a little bit harder to pop the wrist back. It's a little bit easier to keep a nice neutral wrist position. Here's 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it in. We're gonna go back for our split squats. This time we are going to do lunges. So we're gonna actually do the stepping and you're gonna alternate right, left. Here we go. So step it back, drop it down, push through, and come back up to standing. So drop and lift. So think about shoulders over hips. This isn't one where we're bending forward and leaning. Shoulders nice and tall. So it doesn't have to be perfectly straight up and down over your hips, but pretty upright. So there's a book on your head. Here's 2 and 1. One more set, tricep kickbacks. Here's 3, 2, and 1. So good hinge forward, lift it up, kick back, bring it in. This is another one, check your body position. If your elbows are back, but your chest and your head are looking forwards, tuck the tail under a little bit, hinge forwards. If you start getting a little tired, you rest. I'm starting to feel this in my traps, right up by my neck, and that's not where I want to feel these. Good, 10 seconds. Good, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Dumbbells down, walk around, grab a drink. Gonna move on, circuit number 3. We're gonna do a squat with a heel lift. So just nice normal squat, down, up, heel down. Second exercise is straight arm press backs. We're getting back of the body today, so we're trying to get some of these smaller muscles. So decide if you want to use a dumbbell or 2 dumbbells. We have squat with a heel lift in 3, 2, and 1. So 1 dumbbell, 2 dumbbells, no dumbbells. Squat, lift, heels up, heels down. Squat, lift, heels up, heels down. I want you to feel how you're lifting those heels. Are you lifting and rolling out to your pinky toe? Does the inside edge of your foot lift a lot higher than the outside edge? Good, lift and lower. 3, 2, and 1. All right, I am going light, and I am going to do a palms facing forwards press back. So shoulders down, palms facing forwards, lift and lower, lift and lower. So my pinky is facing my thighs, my thumbs are pointing to the walls. Check your position, make sure we're not doing a big swing or we're not swinging like way wide to the hips. Open the torso, palms forwards, lift the back of the hand towards the ceiling. My one hand likes to rotate in, so I'm trying to keep an eye on that. It's okay if you don't go very high. And again, shoulders down. Here's 2 and 1. Coming back up, squat with a heel lift. 2 and 1. So squat it down, stand tall, lift the heels, and lower. For those press backs, if the palms facing forwards is just really tricky, drop your weight, try to do it body weight, or go back to a palm facing in. But we gotta remember our body works in lots of different directions, and we usually do palms in, which is fine, a little more stable, but sometimes we got to switch it up a little bit. Challenge our body, work our bodies in a different way. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Dumbbells down. I usually use 8s for this exercise, and I switched it to 5s. Good. So shoulders down. Open the shoulders, palms facing forwards. Press and lift. And if you see, I'm really not going very far past parallel with my torso. So I'm not going really high, and I'm not letting my shoulders scrunch up by my ears. It's just a good press and lower. So a little bit of back of the shoulder, a little bit of tricep up at the shoulder, and then a little bit of lats. It's that big muscle that's under your arm that goes from the top of your pelvis to underneath your arm. 2 and 1. Good. All right, we have one more set, and then we're gonna go down to the floor, and if you don't wanna go to the floor, you don't have to. Here we go, shoulders down, ribs tucked, squat, stand, heels up, heels down. Squat, stand, heels up, heels down. And I don't know, sorry I'm showing you my buns, but it's squat, lift, and then think about if you watch my feet, I'm not going out, I'm keeping them in. So squat, lift, heels up, heels down. Now my right foot, that's the ankle that I've rolled probably 12 times. The other one's fine. This one, I can tell gets a little funky. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good, dumbbells down. We're gonna go for that lovely, lovely press back. Here's 2 and 1. So hinge it forward, open at the shoulders, palms forwards. This is another one, elbows are straight. So we don't wanna have soft elbows. I want you to try to keep those elbows, they can be a little soft, but I really want you to think about tightening up so that just the back of your body is working. We're not starting to turn it into a kickback because we've already done 3 sets of those. Good, 10 seconds. We're gonna head to the floor. If you don't wanna go to the floor, no problem. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it in, shake it out, walk around, grab a drink. Down on the floor, we're gonna do a seated shoulder press, which means we're gonna sit on our buns, legs out, and we're gonna do a shoulder press. If you don't wanna do overhead shoulder presses, you're gonna do side raises. If you're staying standing, standing side raise, or if you've got a chair, sit in a chair, take your legs out straight to form a V. So you have to sit up and you can't use your legs to kind of help a little bit. It's just different. And then we're gonna do bridges. If you're standing, you're gonna do glute kickbacks. You're gonna do right side, left side, and then you're gonna alternate. And then we're gonna stay down for core. So let's go ahead and take it down to the floor. Now for the seated shoulder press, maybe you're really tight and you cannot get your legs out straight. I want you to soften the knees. I know it's hard to see. Soften the knees because I want you sitting straight up and down. We don't want to be here because you're tight, and we don't want to be here. I want you to sit nice and tall. If you can do legs straight, great. If you can't, lift the knees up, dig the heels into the ground. We're going to get ready for those overhead presses, and then we're going to do bridges. You can do side raises here too. It's just a little bit different. But go ahead, grab your dumbbells in 3, 2, and 1. So we're gonna bring it up. So I want you to sit nice and tall. Press, lower, press, lower. So I know it's hard to see, but my knees are up off of the floor. My heels are in the ground, but I'm sitting on my sits bones. I don't feel like I'm sitting on the back of my pelvis, and I'm not puffing up my chest. I'm trying to sit nice and tall, just like if I'm sitting in a chair. But if you can take the legs out, it's a little bit harder. 10 seconds. We're getting core work here. If you're standing, you can just stand. 3, 2, and 1. Dumbbells down, feet in, roll yourself onto your back. We're just gonna do bridges. Nothing fancy here. Good, so little rib tuck. We're just gonna lift and we're gonna lower. So we're gonna go from seated to on our backs, to seated, to on our backs, to seated, to on our backs. And then we're gonna stay on our backs and we're gonna do some core work. So when you're lifting and you're doing a bridge, we don't wanna lift our hips and then start to bring stuff up, or we don't wanna just lift our hips and forget about the rest of our torso. Our ribs and our hips are connected, so when we lift our hips off the ground, the rest of your torso starts to come with it. Your head and shoulders stay on the ground, but your hips to your ribs come up as one piece. Good. Let's come back up to a seated position. Grab your dumbbells, reset, sitting tall, ribs tucked, right here. Press and down. So you can kind of tell the difference. We're here, I'm kind of hunkered back, I'm rounded. I feel like I'm gonna fall over a little bit, but at the same time here, I'm puffing up my chest and arching my back, which is what we don't want. So it's just a little tuck, stack the ribs over the hips. So it's just a little pull in. Now you can take your legs out straight. Sometimes taking your legs a little bit wider might be a little bit easier. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Dumbbells down, bring the feet in. Just roll yourself back into that bridge position. 2, and 1. So again, tailbone pointing to your heels, tuck the ribs, lift, and lower. So I always tell people this is like if you're wearing Spanx, or those of you that maybe actually wore something kind of like a corset, which for my sewist, that is on my list to make someday, is a corset, but they're very finicky. So we're gonna lift and we're gonna lower. So lift up and then lower down. Push through the heels, squeeze the glutes, take your knees like you're trying to press your knees forward over your toes. Good. Let's bring it back up. We have one more set. So we're just gonna sit nice and tall, legs a little bit wide, belly's in, reach, and down. And again, if you don't wanna do overhead, you can still do this with a side raise. I just find it a little easier to do elbows bent. Yes, you can do straight arms, but I always say go lighter because this is gonna be harder than you think it is. This is your test. Sometimes we cheat and we just don't even realize it. You know, we pick a weight that's a little heavy or something, we're starting to get a little tired, and we find a way to compensate and we just don't even know it. This is a good way to test. Are you compensating? Good. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, we're gonna go onto our backs. We're gonna do bridges. This is our last set. And then we're gonna do a quick core finisher. Good, so time's on. So we're just gonna lift and then we're gonna lower. So nice, good lift, nice, good lower. So if you place your hand, like my thumbs are on my ribs and my fingers are on my tummy, they're not getting closer together or farther apart. So I just kind of have my hands spread and I can feel my ribs to my hips, and the distance between them stays the same on the way up and on the way down. 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, give yourself a little bit of a break. We're gonna stay down on the floor. I just wanna tell my standing students what we're doing. You're gonna do frog crunches. If you are staying standing, you're just gonna do a little side bend with your frogs. For the jackknife, you're gonna do hand to foot on one side, and then you're gonna do hand to foot on the other. For the reverse crunches, you're gonna do a march, and then for the Russian twists, you can be here or you can be here. It's completely up to you, but those are for the standing students. We're gonna do one round. We're gonna start with our frog crunches. So 40 seconds work, 10 seconds rest. Bottoms of the feet are touching, or as close as you can get. Knees are out to the side. We're gonna brace our ribs in 3, 2, and 1. So we're just gonna do a good crunch. I am gonna reach towards my heels. You are welcome to reach towards the ceiling. I'm gonna reach towards the heels. A frog crunch is gonna take your hip flexors out of the equation. So we're gonna be able to give the hip flexors a break, really focus on using your abs to be able to do the crunch. Now you are welcome to take it up and hold it. You do not have to do the lift in the lower. You can just take it up, hold it, do an isometric. It's a little more spine safe. Good, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good, bring it in. We're gonna take your left leg, either have the foot on the floor or you can have it bent or have it straight. We're gonna take our right leg and our left arm and we're going to crunch up and we're gonna do an arm lift and lower, a leg lift and lower, and try to do a toe touch. Now you can do this with your entire torso on the ground and just do the leg lift and lower, but we're doing opposite arm and leg. Nice, good reach. So it's a little bit of a diagonal crunch, adding in the lift and lower. You can always do just a nice, good shoulder towards the knee. Make it a little easier. Good, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it in, switching sides. So your right leg, foot can be on the floor or it can be straight. Left leg, we take it out straight. Right arm, we're gonna reach it up. Here we go. So we're gonna add in leg lift and lower. Nice, good crunch. Again, your torso can be here and you can just do the leg lift and lower. It's a little bit doing like doing a dead bug where you don't get that spinal movement and rotation. So good reach and lower. "15 seconds. And we're gonna go for reverse crunches. Here's 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, reverse crunches. If you're standing, you're just gonna do that march. If you're on the floor, option 1 is just a pelvic tuck. Your time is on. So you're just gonna lift the pelvis, but the hips aren't lifting up. Option 2, you can add a little crunch where you kind of pull your knees in towards your chest. Option 3, we bring it in. Can you lift up like you're trying to take the bottoms of your feet towards the ceiling? But if you want just a little reverse crunch, it doesn't have to be big. Upper body stays on the floor. Your challenge, back of the hand is touching the floor so you can't push into the ground to help. Here's 2 and 1. All right, come up to a V-sit position, or you can stay on your back, that's okay too. Knees bent, feet are on the floor, little lean back. We're just gonna go thigh to thigh. So little Russian twist right here. Now you can go slow, or you can go fast. We don't wanna be perfectly upright. We wanna lean back just a little, C-curve with the tummy, but the chest is still open. You can take it bigger, depends on your comfort level. If you don't want to rotate at all, you're holding. This is still going to get your abs. It's a little more spine safe. Good, we've got 10 seconds and then we're going to stretch. Here's 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good job, bring it in, shake it out. Walk around. If you're standing, if you're on the floor, just hang out for a minute. I am going to put my equipment away and then we're going to stretch. But we're going to start by stretching our tummies. So if you are on the floor, we're going to roll over onto our tummies. If you're standing, you can be against a wall. I know it seems kind of silly, but we're just going to start with our legs straight, toes pointing, resting our chin on our hands. And we just want to think about opening up the front of the body. So if you're standing, you can just walk around. You can kind of be against a wall. It seems a little goofy. Good. Now if you're ready to progress, you can take your chin and rest it on an upturned fist, or 2 upturned fists, one stacked on top of the other. Just a nice good rest. Option 3, come up into Sphinx. So this is as high as most of us are going to go today. But shoulders are down away from the ears. I'm relaxing my hips into the floor versus my tummy. So I'm trying to open up the front of the body. I'm pulling myself up and forwards, trying to lengthen the entire front of my body here. 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's take it down. Take your hands right by your chest. Shoulders away from the ears. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, push yourself up and back into a nice good child's pose. So I tuck my toes under, sit my hips to my heels, reach my arms out, little wiggle. Good. 3, 2, 1. Take your right hand, thread the needle underneath the left arm. Your right hand is facing up, so your palm is facing up. And we add a little rotation, like your right ear is trying to hear what the floor is saying. Bring it back into the center, switching sides, thread the needle, left hand underneath the right arm, palm facing up. You can rotate the ear towards the floor. Get a little bit of neck movement too. 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it back into the center. We're going to come up to a hands and knees position. So shoulders over wrists, shoulder width apart, hips over knees, hip width apart, and we're just going to do hip circles. So shoulders are away from the ears. Good position. Just focus on a hula hoop. Good. Let's change direction. So circle it around. Good. Let's bring it in. We're going to walk our hips to our heels. Hands are going to come to our knees. Take your knees a little bit wide. So we're kind of in a frog position. Right hand is by your right knee. We're going to push the floor away. Left hand is lightly behind the ear. We're going to inhale elbow to elbow, and then we're going to exhale open behind us. So the hips to heels is just to prevent you from rotating your entire body. We're just trying to move the upper spine. Good. One more. Bring it into the center, switching over to the other side. Left hand by the left knee, push the floor away. Right hand behind the ear, inhale elbow to elbow. Exhale, we're going to open. Good. Couple more. Did a lot of upper body today. Good. Bring it in. We're going to walk those knees back in. We're going to take it up to a half kneeling position, strong leg around to the front. Take a nice deep breath in. We're going to come up to a standing position. We're going to take the legs a little bit wide, and we're going to hinge. And I just want you to feel a stretch in your hamstrings. So we don't have to go to the floor. So we're just going to rotate that pelvis over, hinge it, stretching the hamstrings. If you want to put your hands on the seat of a chair, if you want to put your hands on a countertop or a wall, hands on the thighs. So we're stretching, but we're also activating those hamstrings. Good. 4, 3, 2, bring it all the way back up. Roll the shoulders up, back, and down. We're going to walk those feet in a little bit. At 8, 7, 4, 3. Let's take those hands, flex the wrists, fingers pointing forwards, elbows straight. We're just going to do nice, good shoulder rolls. Good. Change direction. Good. Let's take the arms out to the side, reach the fingers back, elbows straight. And again, we're going to move from the shoulders, shoulder blades against the torso. Change direction. 4, 3, 2, bring it down, shoulders down, ear to shoulder, side to side. Bring the head up. We're gonna look to one side, look to the other. Here's 2, 1, bring it in the center, big breath in, spread the fingers, spread the toes, and exhale. One more time, big breath in, and out, and you are all done.